a specific frequency to affect the way we behave. It's true a specific true frequency.
I saw in the night visions, and behold, one like the Son of Man came with the clouds of heaven, and came to the Ancient of Days, and they brought him near before him. And there was given him dominion and glory, and a kingdom, that all people, nations, and languages should serve him. His dominion is an everlasting dominion which shall not pass away, and his kingdom that which shall not be destroyed.
Alright, Shalom. First and foremost, I would like to give all praise, honor, and glory unto Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem Rakakwadash. Double honors unto the apostles and the elders of GMS who rule well, teach well, being great examples towards younger brothers, and peace and blessing and salutations to the hopeful elect out there pushing his word and truth and in sincerity across the four winds in the name of Yahweh Bashem Al Shai, pushing to get up out of here. Shalom to the hopeful elect, the believers, the listeners who have came back to the obedience of the scriptures through faith in Yahweh Bashem Al Shai. Alright, and I want to go into a lesson, laying back and off a lesson done by the beloved Elder Apostle Gabar. He was going into Israelite, aristocracy, okay, and the kingdom, okay, will be ruled by Israelite aristocracy. Alright, thus saith the Lord, okay. And when you go into the scriptures, alright, we're going to go into the word aristocracy, alright, and what it means and how, this aligns up, alright, with the government, alright, that the Lord is going to bring through Yahweh Shai. Okay, the throne of David, okay, will be, consist, alright, of the elite families, amongst Israel that's going to rule and govern the earth forever. Okay, even though the Israelites, alright, will be, under their government. They're going to be perfect. They're not going to need to be judged, that's concerning the law, because the law is going to be within them. Okay, but there's going to be a reverence, alright, for that, for those first fruits, okay, those heads, okay, of Israel, okay, and that government is going to rule in complete righteousness. Okay, there will be no corruption, alright, there will be no, this deception, okay, there will be, no greed, okay, covetousness, okay, it's going to be a perfect, righteous rulership under Yahweh Shai, okay. Now, when you go to 2nd Ezra chapter 4, verse 28, it says, "But it's concerning the things whereof thou askest me, I will tell thee, for the evil is sown, but the destruction thereof is not yet come. If therefore that which is sown be not turned upside down, if the place where the evil sown pass not away, then cannot it come that is sown with good." Okay, so this wicked rulership has to be uprooted before the Lord establishes a righteous rulership. Okay, and this is why we're in the phase now where the Lord is uprooting, okay, everything Esau Edom has established in his wicked rulership. Okay, we are in the transition of power. Okay, and this is going to be transition from one people to another, from the nation of Esau Edom to the nation of Israel. Okay, and amongst Israel, you're going to have an aristocracy, man, an elite, class, of families that's going to be the government, okay, of this new age in righteousness, man. Okay, so this place is passing away and the new government is coming, to reign. And this is what we're in the midst of. We in the midst of this real time. And this is why now, this is the time, to cleave to Yahweh Bashem Al Shai, because we here. We're watching it happen in real time. This is something that's not hundreds of years away. Okay, this is here. Things can take off at any moment. Okay, so we're here now. Let's go here. Let's get this word. Aristocracy. Get on the Google, then we'll get it. Okay, in the Edom online. It says aristocracy is a government system where a small privileged group holds all the power. The term can also refer to the ruling class itself. The word comes from the ancient Greek where it means rule of the best. Okay, rule of the best. Now, these devils do it. They have a wicked aristocracy. Okay, with these elites, you have these banking families. Okay, where the 1%, all right, this small 1% rules the other 99. Okay, but it's in complete wickedness, man. Okay, it's not based off merit, integrity, honor, okay, honesty, okay, true wisdom of Yahweh Bashim Al Shah. Is based on, all right, corruption, deception, lewdness, death, okay, chaos, dysfunction, okay, because you have this small percent of people, but they keep the earth in the uproar, okay, they keep nations at war, they keep families at war, they keep, downgrading, the foods, the education, okay, this is a completely wicked rulership. All right, this is a wicked aristocracy, man. But the aristocracy of Israel, all right, is going to be righteous, man. Okay, because you go and you get this word, okay, in the all right, in the Edom, it says aristocracy. Okay, it says government by those who are the best citizens. Okay, government by those who are the best citizens, man. All right. So the best, the most virtuous, the most honest, the most integrity, okay, the most fair, all right, the most balanced, the most merciful. These are going to be the people. The humble. See, right now, pride is ruling the earth. Pride and rebellion. That's what's ruled. That's what rules the earth. That's the energy that rules the earth. Because these devils are in the all-out rebellion against any type of righteousness, and they're doing it in pride. Okay. But the government that's to come, all right, the aristocracy of Israel, is going to be those best spirits of Israel that's going to rule in complete righteousness and honesty, man. Okay, that's why I say government by those who are the best citizens. Now let's get some precepts on, those best citizens. All right, let's get this in Isaiah 32. Okay. Alright, so you get this in the book of Isaiah chapter 32. I'm going to read this in the NLT. Isaiah 32:1. It says, "Look, a righteous king is coming, and honest princes will rule under him." And that righteous king is Yahweh Shai. And those honest, okay, princes, okay, will rule under him. That's the 144,000. That's the aristocracy, man. Okay, those are the best citizens of Israel. Okay, those spirits created for those lots, man. In the beginning, the Lord created those spirits to be superior to even other Israelites. Okay, but what comes with that being superior comes with more responsibility. Okay, and this is what this grace period, the main thing this grace period is teaching us, is the responsibility of rulership. Okay, whom much is given, much is required. Okay. And the Lord understand that He created these first fruit spirits superior even than other Israelites, okay, because they have the greatest responsibility. Okay, we don't have these spirits are not superior for self gain, to be boastful, to look down, on the rest of Israel. No, these spirits are superior because they have the responsibility of governing Israel in righteousness, man. Okay. And beyond that, govern the earth in righteousness, man. Okay? That's why you go here in the book of Revelation chapter 14. All right, in verse, I'll read this in the NLT. It says, Revelation 14:1, it says, "Then I saw the Lamb, which is Yahweh Shai, which he's going to be the head of the government. The scripture said the government shall be upon his shoulders." Okay, and he's the head of the aristocracy that's to come. There's no, outside of the Most High, there's nothing more superior than Yahweh Shai. Okay, and he will be the head of that government, man. All right, the head of the aristocracy, man. Okay, of those noble families, those elite families of Israel. Okay, then I saw the Lamb standing on Mount Zion, and with him were 144,000 who had his name and his father's name written on their foreheads, who had the name of Yahweh Shai and the Father. Okay, the 144,000 are sealed with those names, which means they will have a special reverence for those names. And the man that's not calling on those names, that's an indicator that he's not, all right, of their class, man. Okay, you're still calling on Christ. If you still, you say Christ the majority of the time you're teaching, you're not sealed with these names. If you don't reverence these names, okay, by your conduct, okay, by teaching right, if someone is teaching false prophecy, they're not sealed with those names. Okay, there's a certain conduct that comes with being sealed with those names. There's a certain reverence and fear, all right, that comes with being sealed with those names, man, of the Heavenly Father Yahweh and his son named Yahweh Shai. All right, it says, and I heard a sound from heaven like the roar of mighty ocean waves, or the rolling of loud thunder. It was like the sound of many harpists playing together. This great choir sang a wonderful new song in front of the throne, and before the four living, all right, and before the four living beings and the 24 elders. No one could learn this song except the 144,000 who had been redeemed from the earth. Okay, so these 144,000 men, will be singing this new song in harmony, man. Okay, that's why you can, listen to GMS LA. Okay, and it's the same doctrine that's being taught in GMS Dallas, GMS Houston. Okay, GMS Nashville is the same thing. Okay, singing this new song in harmony, man. Okay, you see, 144,000 would sing in harmony like a choir. The doctrine would be the same. It wouldn't be changing. It wouldn't be trying to go new and be deep and trying to be prolific and be different. No, it will sing this new song in perfect harmony, man. Okay, now as you read down, it says, verse 4, it said, these are they, all right, which have not been defiled with women. Okay, which is speaking about doctrines and philosophies, man. Okay, for they are virgins. Okay, they are virgins, all right, and it's in the spirit, which means we haven't, no other doctrine has penetrated us, man. Okay, no other doctrine has penetrated the minds, okay, of these men as they was awakened. Okay, they stayed faithful to this doctrine, man. They kept singing the new song in their perfect harmony, man. The correct breakdowns, the correct names. Okay, you see, the correct doctrine. All right, it says, these are they which were not defiled with women, for they are virgins. These are they which follow the Lamb whithersoever he goeth, which is Yahweh Shai. Okay, these were redeemed from among men, being the first fruits unto the Most High and to the Lamb. So let's get this word first fruits, and we're gonna link it up with the aristocracy, man. Okay, so you go here. All right, first fruits. Okay,
Strong's G 536. Aparche.
okay. Now when you go here, what do you have? Okay, now you go to the last definition. Just the one I'm trying to get. All right, it says persons superior in excellence to others of the same class. Persons superior in excellence to others of the same class. Okay, so the first fruit represents the aristocracy, okay, of Israel. All right, let's go here. Aristocracy, government by those who are the best citizens. Okay, it says from the Latin aristocratia, aristocratia. Okay, from the Greek aristocratia, government or rule of the best. Government or rule of the best. Okay, from aristos. Okay, best of his kind, noblest, bravest, most virtuous. Okay, so aristos goes into best of his kind, and krasi, okay, goes into a rule of power. Okay, so it's the rulership, okay, of the best of its kind. Okay, and Yahweh Shai is coming back to give power to the aristocracy of Israel, man. Those superior spirits that was created from the beginning to be those honest princes to rule with Yahweh Shai. Okay, that's why you go here. Let's get this. Okay, Matthew 19. Okay, I started at 27. All right, Matthew 19 and 27. Then answered Peter and said unto him, Behold, we have forsaken all and followed thee. What shall we have therefore? And Yahweh Shai said unto them, Verily I say unto you, that ye which have followed me in the regeneration, when the Son of Man shall sit in the throne of his glory, ye also shall sit upon 12, all right, sit upon 12 thrones, judging the 12 tribes of Israel. Okay, so Yahweh Shai is letting them know, okay, look, you follow me, you forsaken all. But that's because, remember, as much is given, much is required. So those 144,000, they have a different sacrifice than everyone else. Okay, they're required to give up more now because they have so much responsibility in the kingdom. Okay, and see, we're being trained about responsibility right now. Okay, that's one of the main things that we're being conditioned is to understand the responsibilities of our office, man. Okay, and we sacrifice now because of what we got coming on the back end, man. Okay, and part of that aristocracy, is about being available. Okay, being available for this office, man. Okay, so that's why it's much more required for the 144,000 than anyone else. That's why the Lord chastens us different. All right, He plagues us different, man. Hey, we don't have as much rope as other people, other Israelites, even those of the elect. There's a different degree of chastening. There's a different cup of suffering that the 144,000 have to go through, man. Those first fruits. And Yahweh Shai was an example of that, man. Him being the superior of us all, he had to go through the most chastening, man. Okay, so these lots, come with heavy responsibility, man. Hey, them crowns heavy, man. You see, literally and symbolically, man. Them crowns heavy, man. So Yahweh Shai letting them know that even amongst Israel, all right, in the kingdom, okay, when Yahweh Shai established this kingdom, and now, the men that he was talking to, they've been regenerated back in the earth. Now you have some of them that's in the spiritual realm, but a lot of the disciples, okay, that was following Yahweh Shai, they've been regenerated back in the earth through reincarnation. And Lord will, we're here to solidify, those thrones, man. Okay, and it says, and everyone that hath forsaken houses or brethren or sisters or father or mother or wife or children or lands for my name's sake shall receive 100-fold and shall inherit everlasting life, man. So we're gonna get anything that we can lose on this, anything that we're gonna lose, all right, on this side. Yahweh Shai got us when we come back, man. He finna establish us, man. He finna establish his men as great houses in the earth, man. Okay, and even amongst Israel, these men are gonna have, they're gonna be reverenced in a particular way. And it's not a thing about clout, it's about order. Okay, because order creates efficiency. The kingdom of heaven is going to be a one big family ruling the earth. Okay, and within that family is going to be particular order. There's going to be a particular reverence. Okay, everyone's going to have their own order and their own reverence in the kingdom under Yahweh Shai, man. Okay, this is the point. Matthew 19 and 30, it says, but many that are first shall be last, and the last shall be first. And right now, who are the first? The elites of Esau, Edom. But in our kingdom, they're going to be the last. They're going to have the least influence, the least authority, All right, no authority, and least they're gonna have no authority, no power, no say so. Okay, they're just gonna be laborers. Okay, their ideas are not gonna influence anything. Okay, they're just gonna be hands and feet in our kingdom. They're gonna go from this wicked aristocracy to the labor in our kingdom, man. Okay, rigorous labor. Okay, back breaking, ACL tearing, all right, ankle breaking labor. Okay, now you go here to this word first. All right, it says first. All right, this is the word protos, and it says first in time or place. It said first in rank, influence, or honor. First in rank, influence, or honor. Okay, chief, principal. All right, so the men now, they are the least of this kingdom, are going to have the chief influence and honor in the kingdom to come, and it's going to be in righteousness, man. Okay, and Yahweh Shai is going to grant us that authority, man. It's going to be a righteous aristocracy in the earth, man. Okay, this is what we're coming into. All right, so that was the point. I just wanted to touch on that. Like I said, there was a lesson done by Elder Apostle Kabar that inspired me to do this. We just got so much to look forward to, man. And tapping into our office now is preparing us for our office in the kingdom. Okay, that's the mindset that we should have. Being tapped. I'm tapped. We should all be tapped in, man. Okay, so Lord will you brothers and you sisters edify till next time I say shalom.